look at, that's a chip in the window. So is that one. Huh. I thought them were bugs. We got an anniversary to go to. Who's that fool in the window? Oh my. Let's do the second half of this video here. As he said, or as I said, this is the 1 year anniversary. So happy anniversary, Sasnak channel, I guess. What I thought I would do is explain where the channel came from and the idea behind it, and places I've been in 1 year, all the places I've been. So what I thought I'd do is do that by doing a map here. All right, first of all, the way the channel started, I was talking to a friend of mine, Joe from South Dakota. He's the one, remember the cattle drive videos? His family is the one that has the cattle operation out there in Wyoming and Colorado. And anyway, I was talking to Joe. He's a real good friend of mine, and we got to talking about YouTube videos and other trucker videos and stuff that, you know, I didn't know that they did, and he was telling me about it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, hey, I got to thinking that would be a really easy or a good way to let my mom know where I go, what I do. So I thought I'd put some videos together, and I thought, oh, it's pretty simple. Just take a video and load it up on YouTube. No big deal, right? It turns out it's a little bit more than that. I mean, all the editing that goes into it and the time spent, there's quite a bit of time spent doing this stuff. Each video takes a couple hours to edit, and then it takes a good couple hours to process, or what they call render the video. And then after that, I got to upload it to YouTube, and that takes anywhere, depending on the signal strength that I have and the speed, the tower speed that I have. It might take an hour, it might take 4 hours. The longest video was that 55-minute video that I just did here a while back, and it took 16 hours to load. So it gives you an idea of the time spent for this channel. So I got a full-time trucking job and a part-time, you know, hobby job doing this YouTube stuff. So anyway, how the channel started, I decided I was going to do it, and needed to do a little research on cameras. So I decided to do buy a GoPro 5 dash cam, or just an action cam, and I started pointing it on the dash, pointing down the hood, you know, a dash cam, but I'd also turn it around and point it toward me. And I had to do all this extra editing because, you know, only one camera, and, you know, it was a lot of work. Also, the audio was terrible on the GoPro 5, so I thought, well, I better buy a better camera, and that's where the Canon 77D came in. And those are the two primary cameras that I use. I've got a couple others, but those are the two main ones that you see day to day. The Canon shoots back toward me, and the GoPro points down the hood for the dash cam. And then I merged the two together on editing software. And so anyway, I decided to do this, and I went and picked up a trailer in Montgomery, Alabama, not Montgomery, Elba, Alabama, going up to Hartford, not Hartford, Scranton, Pennsylvania. And on the way up there, I decided I better stop and buy a GoPro. So I stopped in Virginia at a Best Buy and bought my GoPro 5. And I read the instructions and everything. Well, the next morning, I picked up, I started out the very first video, Sasnak 1, very, very first video, started out in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And that was just the last little bit of that long Alabama to Pennsylvania load. So that's video number 1, was that short little piece there across Pennsylvania, okay? And I got up there, unloaded, and then went over to another part of Pennsylvania and picked up a trailer, and that was going down to Richmond, Virginia. So from Richmond, Virginia, I emptied out and went over to Atkins, Virginia, picked up a trailer going to Arkansas, and from Arkansas, went over to Paragould, picked up a trailer going to Wisconsin, and from Wisconsin, picked up a tanker trailer going down to Miami, Florida. I got down to Miami, Florida, and I thought, you know, I got laid over for the weekend, so I thought, well, I'm this far down, I might as well go down to Key West. That's the video where I bobtailed down to Key West. From there, I came back to Jacksonville to pick up a trailer. And from Jacksonville, the trailer that I was going to pick up, that fell through. So I had to go up to Georgia, change plans, went up to Georgia, picked up a trailer. And that was going to, where did that go? Went over to Arkansas, I believe. And then from there, Arkansas went down to Houston. And went back and forth, Houston to Arkansas, back and forth about 4 or 5 trips. Or more than that, about 6 or 7 trips. And then so I went home, and then from there I picked up a load going to Mississippi or to Tennessee, to Knoxville, Tennessee. And then from there, got a load Asheville, North Carolina, back out to not Asheville, Atkins, Virginia, out to Denver. So I got that trailer, and then from Denver I picked up a trailer going back into Topeka, and then from Topeka deadheaded down into Arkansas, and in Arkansas that load went over to Washington, I think. And I kind of lose track of where I'm going, but as you see, I started just doing a lot of different video channels, a lot of different, not channels, all these other runs here and there, and started going all over the country. And this just gives you an idea. I guess what the point of all of this is, all the loads that I've hauled in 1 year and the territory I've covered. And as it shows, I've completely covered the United States. The only states in 1 year, I've hit 45 states. The only ones I haven't hit were Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. And that was it. Every other state I've touched. It doesn't show it on the map here, but I even went into Michigan. I forgot to put that in there. The point of this is, what I'm trying to get at is, if you wanted to be a trucker, or if you wanted to see the country, if you wanted to go travel around the country, you could either buy a pickup and an RV, or a fifth wheel RV, or a motorhome, or some kind of camper, and you could travel around and see the country at your expense. Or you could become a truck driver and let them pay for the fuel, and you have no expenses. If you wanted to live in the truck and just travel in the truck all the time and treat it like the RV, you can travel all over the place and you have no expenses back home. Look at all the money you could save if you didn't have a mortgage, if you didn't have rent, if you didn't have all the utility bills, if you didn't have the taxes, if you didn't have to have 2 or 3 cars to travel back and forth to work all the time. You could really see this country. I guess that's the point of this last little bit here, is really get to see the country. And I don't know, some people would be interested in that, some people aren't. This map that right here, I kind of lost track of all the places I've went through the year. There's a lot more orange or yellow lines on this map that I can't remember all the places. I've been down to through Albuquerque and Santa Fe, and all down and through there quite a bit. Went across Montana on 90 and on 94. Just there's a lot of places that I didn't fill in here because I just kind of lost. There was a lot of work putting it into this. But anyway, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at is it's been 1 year anniversary, and this is every place I've covered, some of the places I've covered in this country in 1 year. But anyway, 1 year anniversary for Sasnak, and I looked at the subscriber count. We hit 7,000 a couple weeks ago, and we're not going to make 8,000 in 1 year, but so close. I think around about 7,900, somewhere along in there, in 1 year. And I had no idea. I mean, that just blows my mind. I figured I'd have 50 or 60 subscribers. That's really where I thought I would be. And so I've know some other YouTube people that have gotten like 1 million subscribers in 1 year. I know that's I can't even fathom that. But for what I do, I would have guessed there was 8,000 people out there that would be interested in watching. So thank you. It makes it worthwhile. It makes it fun. It's interesting. My mom loves it. Okay, that's another thing, is I did this for my mom, And I thought, well, since I'm putting it on YouTube, I just open it up, make it public for everybody. And that's what really blew my mind, is how many people started subscribing. Because I was doing it for one person, and I got 8,000 now. So I imagine the channel will keep growing, I hope. And who knows, maybe one of these days I'll be hitting 10,000 and then 50,000 and maybe 100,000 someday. But, you know, who knows? We'll see. Anyway, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and good night.